right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. Hey, guess what? The heat is working. And I didn't bring it to the garage. Oh, my gosh. That reminds me of the time... I'll turn down the fan. I'm all excited about it working. I mean, it's not working great, but at least it's heat. All right. We'll put this on because... I'm sick of hearing that, even though it's going to come on again. All right, here we go. All right, you can see I'm happy. That's a good thing. Because I'm happy for good reasons. And not because of my circumstances. It's just Jesus. But, oh yeah, I just wanted to mention also, a couple months ago, the engine was making this crazy sound, like a clunking, intermittent sound, like, oh, like this is serious. So I bring it to the garage and they go, you're gonna have to get rid of the vehicle because the only way we're gonna figure out what that sound is to take it apart, and it's just not gonna be worth it. Blah blah blah. Sound went away. Sounds gorgeous. So I've got it looking at it like the heat fixing itself. Could be another sign of Jesus. I'm not saying it is, but I certainly wouldn't put it past Mr. Lovey Dovey. Oh yeah, baby. Don't underestimate the lovey-doveyness of your Father and Lord. So now I'm going to GNC just to say hi to my girlfriend. I call her my girlfriend because she's just very friendly to me. And I always check to see if they have anything on clearance there that I can afford. And that's also useful for my bodybuilding, which, by the way, is going great because I've lost some more weight. I gained a bunch of weight over the holidays. Who would have thought, right? Like about 15 pounds. So I've lost a few pounds. So I think I'm down to like 12 pounds off my former. So I'm excited about that. So that's good. All right, so let's get to the real story, the Bible, right? And like I said before, I really get the sense in the Spirit of God that He is pleased with how diligent I am every day to get into the Bible and try to make sense out of what often doesn't make any sense to me, because I don't want my negative mindset to get in the way of His eternal promises, okay? And speaking of eternal promises, that's partly what's in today's reading, which is from Romans 4. And it's basically saying, you know, if God promised it, then He's able to perform it, something like that. And, you know, that's something, you know, you've probably seen a lot of Christians, you're probably one of them, whose faith is built up consistently just by reasserting that axiom. If God promised it, you know, He's faithful to bring it to pass, or He's able to perform it. You know, God said it, that settles it, that type of thing. And I really believe God honors that, whether you understand there's problems in the Bible or not. I think what He does is He honors that heart, that, see, I told you, the warning thing comes on whether this is on or not. That's a whole nother message. We already got to that. He honors our faith to trust Him because we're believing the idea of You said it, you're trustworthy, therefore, that's all I need to know. And then he counts that to us as righteousness, starting off with the story of Abraham, even though Abraham probably never existed. That story and the value of it is still there. And I think most Christians who are living a successful Christian life are doing so because they're experiencing God's faithfulness, that when we say and believe in our heart, you've promised it, I believe it, you count it to me for righteousness, and then we reap the blessings of whatever that might be, either receiving something specific that we're believing for, or we have evidence of the fruit of the Spirit being developed in us: love, patience, joy. I should memorize more than those, but you get the idea. We have the evidence of his faithfulness just because we're believing him. So I'm saying that because I don't want any of you to get the idea that, well, you can't expect God to bless you if you're believing a lie, that lie being that the Bible is flawless. No, that's not. Just look around you. That's clearly not what's going on. God is blessing people who trust him and believe in him for what they think he said, and he honors that. So for some people, it's, believing the whole book is flawless. For me, it happens to be believing that 36% of it is flawless. He doesn't care. He's looking at the heart. He's looking for someone that he can share with, someone he can reveal himself to, a place where he can call home, a bride that wants more than anything to reflect the very nature of her beloved bridegroom. Yeah, baby, that's what it's all about. I don't want to shut the car off because the heat's working. Oh yeah, baby. I'm so excited. Yeah, so that's it, baby. And the other thing, just so you know, I happen to be wearing some lipstick today, but that's because I put, I tried to broadcast some piano playing yesterday on Twitch, but I couldn't share the broadcast, so I'm probably done with that. But when I do that kind of thing, I like to promote diversity, and so I try to dress and look like I'm not the average, so that people get encouraged not to be depressed, that you can still have life and joy and be yourself. So anyway, that's why it's still there, so I'm just leaving it. But the reason I'm bringing it up is I'm currently, speaking of this relationship I'm having with God, is I am leaving it up to him whether he wants me to do this or not, or even hope for a male partner. So that's in his hands. I'm not messing with it. I'm not aggressively promoting it, because if I did, that would be going not against what he wants, but without his leading. So I'm waiting for his leading on that. The curious thing about it is, in my life, I've almost always had some kind of negative thing happen to me as a result of my sexual identity, like almost every time, like ridiculous. So you could just say, well, there's your there's your evidence. Why don't you just accept it? Because I'm looking at it in the sense of Job. of God saying, have you considered my servant Frank? And then all of a sudden I have no life savings. And I'm forced into a position of extreme faith for my joy. I think like this situation might be similar. It's like the more I come into understanding who I truly am, the power of that is exceptional. And I think that the forces of evil in the world are pushing against that eventuality. So I could be wrong about that. It could just be all these times God has been trying to tell me, put that aside, seek me and don't act on your natural impulses or inclinations. So that remains to be seen. But stay tuned and do the same in your life. Get into that engagement with God where instead of feeling like you're performing for him, and I wonder if he wants me to do this, I'm not sure, and now you're afraid, and now you're acting a certain way, and you're trying to change your behavior, and you're back and forth, and there's no joy in your life because you're not engaged in a relationship that's trusting the one who loves you most is going to provide all your needs and desires. That's where you want to be, and that's where we need to see ourselves being honest with each other so that we can see evidence of God moving and changing us, whether it's wearing lipstick or not.